you to remove your scarf. Will you be okay? Because I will be working with your neck and head. I would like to introduce everyone to Sarah Jeffries, who has consented to be my subject today for the Bodywork demonstration. I'm Sondra, the director of East-West Somatics and the inventor of Shin somatic techniques, including the techniques that you will see with this bodywork. But I have learned a great deal from other methods, the Feldenkrais method, the Alexander technique, Rosen breath work, yogic techniques for working with the body. Do I just bring it all together? I do use it as inspiration, and I use some of the techniques, but they morph into this work we do called Shin Somatics Bodywork. The bodywork uses, and I will explain this as I go along, all of the other work that we do. It's related to the yoga, the intuitive dance. And I can only show you a little bit today, so I'm going to try to show you something fundamental. Clearing from backlying. But I want to ask Sarah, and Sarah's a student of this work, and she's a teacher of our work. I want to ask you, Sarah, what would you like to receive today?
Well, I've been reading a lot of news lately, and I felt knotted up and kind of tight. So I want some loosening, some more ease and space.
Thank you for giving me that image to work with. Loosening, ease, space. You feel kind of knotting up, and the news can make us anxious, for sure. Okay, would you first of all just take a walk out there and then back here? I'm just going to notice whatever I notice about your walk. What do you feel in your walk? It's not very far to go, but you may have something come to your attention.
It feels easeful.
It feels easeful. Good. Maybe you eased up a little just talking about the issues. I see something in the feet, and I wonder if it will change a bit after we finish. It's just a detail. It's a little flipping inward at the end that the big toe kind of wants to flip inward there a little bit, and so I'm going to give some special attention to your feet and think about the whole body, the whole person as I work. Would you lie down on the table with your head up toward the top? I'm going to show clearing from backlying. That's not backline. We could call it backline. It's lying down on the back. So that means that's the position of the body that is kind of baseline for the work. The touch for all of our work is gentle, and it's about holding presence and carrying. For clearing from backline, we'll start at the feet and work toward the head. We've been outside, so I see a little twig here on Sarah's pants. I'll get rid of that to begin with. I'm thinking first of all about giving Sarah's legs a little bit of a dance and a dancing feeling, and I will be paying attention to the ankle joints, the knees, how the legs move in the hips, but I'll lift the legs a whole to begin with, and I want to approach the touch very gradually, so she will feel my presence even before she feels my touch. I'll wait here. I'm going to come under this space of the ankle there is, with most people, you'll come under the Achilles here, and she'll catch that. I don't want to do it too slowly or I'll tickle her. And I'll just catch the heel in my hands and let her legs rest there. I'm going to lower my center of gravity so I can use my legs to lift her legs and not my back. Ever so gradually. And of course, that moves the hip joints. And already she's going to understand that this work is gentle. I'm not going to make any rash movements. A little bit to the side, a little bit dance over here. I'll lift one leg a little bit higher so she gets some asymmetry in the hips, and we're beginning to tip the pelvis. And I want to make sure I'm not developing any tension in my own body. Now I'm getting a little figure 8 in my own hips and in her hips. That's a phrase. I'm going to let that go. Move out to the big toes. I really could go anywhere on the foot, but since I noticed this detail of the big toe was there, I'm going to come to her big toe. I just wait here for a while and develop a little length. She said loosening. She would like a little loosening, some space in her body to feel less anxious about all the news. I could take this dance of the legs further. Tipping, taking one leg higher, one leg lower. But I want to do this demonstration with some economy so that it doesn't take a full 45 minutes, which a full bodywork session would. We wouldn't do it all on the back anyway. The next part is bringing the legs up to standing. By standing, I mean the sole of the foot on the table. I'm going to squeeze the knee toward me. This is very like the work of Feldenkrais. Bring it up and up. But I'm going to do a little self-referencing here. This is half of a little boat. We do the little boat in yoga. Both knees would be up and the hands would be holding the knees, but we're just doing one side. We're going to let it come a little bit through here, a little bit through there. Take a little circle in the hip joint. Now I want to get underneath this movement and do it ever so slowly. Great. I'm going to let that foot stand. It seems to be, whoops, I thought that wasn't going to be good. But it needs to be a little wider so that it actually wants to stand. The legs will stand by themselves here without much tension in the hip joint to hold them there. It all depends on where you've put them. And we'll bring the other leg up. Bring it to stand. Give it time to settle, and both time to settle, and let's repeat this. Good, we both needed a big breath here. And I'm reminded how much I love to do bodywork. I didn't think I would like it when I first started to study the Feldenkrais method. I was really interested more in the movement patterning, but I have fallen in love with what you can do with bodywork and how it can relate to all of the other paradigms of movement, to dancing, to yoga, to movement patterning. These are all just movement patterns that we're doing. They do relate to yoga. We're going to come up into the little boat now, the yoga little boat, and ask Sarah to just hang out there for a minute. So what is happening here? I know through teaching yoga and experiencing this hundreds and hundreds of times myself, that the low back gets pressed into the ground or into the table, into the floor, wherever you're working, and it gets lengthened. And as Sarah said, she wanted to loosen up to get more space. The low back is problematic in many people. It's tangled up for most of us at one point or another. Just breathing into that once more. I can add just a little direction to this, and I'm going to see if she wants to take a circle. Yeah. Okay, there it goes. Because as I work with her, I am working with her. I'm not doing things to her. We are working together. And since that slipped, I'll help firm it up there. And there we go. Now we've both got the idea. The nervous system's got the idea. And we can take it in the other direction. Generally, if I were just working with a client or a student with Bodywork, I would not be talking. But I'm explaining this. Her hands have fallen in this beautiful place. So I'm just going to let Sarah rest there. I said we were working from the feet up, which we have been doing so far. I haven't paid a lot of attention to the arms, the chest, the head, the ribs. That doesn't mean they haven't been working, because they have, and moving. But I haven't given them specific attention. And now I'm going to. I would like to show you something before I do it. On my own body, if I were lying down on the floor, I could do this as a pattern. And it would be freeing the clavicle, the shoulder blade, the neck and head, moving across and reaching out and coming back and coming down. I'm going to be doing this with Sarah's arm because she's lying down and she's got this grounding of the head and the back. It's not free like mine is in standing. It will come out differently because she's resting on the table. But you see, this is just a pattern. It's pretty easy, but when you start to translate it to somebody else's body, far more complex, but interesting and fun. So, this shoulder, self-referencing, just so it comes close. She could easily touch her shoulder. Some people can't. There's too much bound up in the elbow. Coming across the top and way wide. Okay, I'm going to come under the shoulder blade. This gives me a chance to catch her shoulder blade in my hand. We're going to come back the same path. I'll catch the thumb here. I still have the shoulder blade. I'm going to bring the shoulder down. We call this bringing the shoulder down. Wow. And coming out through the arm and in through the thumb. This is a technique that I've developed out of this simple movement pattern to bring the shoulder down.